Welcome to another gift giving session. So to become a giver, it's not just about doing actions, it's not just about your mindset even, but it's also about giving with your items. Okay, and this talk is called Kosher Leftovers, and the question is, if you're a giver, how do you view your kosher leftovers? Let's do it! Alright, from the beginning. Here we go. It's kosher leftovers. So you've had a beautiful Shabbos meal. At the end of Shabbos, the question is, what happens to your plate? What happens to all that leftover food that you have? Usually, it goes straight into the bin. But let's just see actually how much in the UK alone really actually ends up in the bin. Ready? Here we go. Some shocking statistics. All right. About 40% of the total amount of food thrown away comes from our homes. So 60% you could say, well, that's nothing to do with me, it's not my fault. Yeah, but 40% does come from us. Next, okay, we throw over 7 million tons of food and drink from our homes every year. OMG. Next, okay, more than half of this food and drink actually we could have eaten, which means it's good quality stuff. Okay, so just to give an idea how high these statistics are. Okay, so for example, we throw away over 4 million apples every single day. Okay, and let's move further forward with this. These statistics might be slightly out of date now. Okay, they are out of date, and then I'll explain to you why. Okay, so in the UK alone, 68% of bagged salad is chucked in the bin. That stat has gone down, fortunately. 40% of apples, 47% of all bakery. Can you imagine? It's almost like half the bread is just chucked away. Okay. Bananas 20% and grapes 24%. Anyone here like to guess, why do you think so much bagged salads is chucked away? Take a think now. And suggestions, please. Okay, so here's the answer. The reason why so much bagged salads used to be chucked away, but not actually as much as it used to be, is because it used to always be buy one, get one free. And therefore, if you're going to have buy one, get one free, are you going to buy an extra bag of salad? Yeah, you are going to buy an extra bag of salad. Do you need it? No. So everyone was buying an extra bag of salads because, hey, it's free, and not eating it because no one needs to be able to eat it. So all that bag salads gets chucked into the bin. Now, apparently, Tesco and other supermarkets will not do buy one, get one free when it comes to salad. There we go. When it comes to bakeries, by the way, no bakeries ever want to be able to have empty stocks. It doesn't look good for a bakery to that when you go in there, there's not much left. So bakeries actually, they bake more even though it's not going to get used up. What do they do with the rest of it? What do they do with that stuff? So you should know, Baruch Hashem, that leftover in the UK, in London, that's given to gift, and we give it out, and there's other organisations also pick it up. But that bread, thank God, is not wasted. It is actually given to people who are in need. Okay, so it's just phenomenal how much food is wasted. The question is, does the Torah say anything? Does the Torah have a view about this? To just say, or whatever, is this something to do with Torah, or this is just, okay, so don't waste. It seems a bit of a waste. Let us see. But we're starting off with understanding the situation, and then we'll talk about what the Torah says about that. Let's continue on, okay? What do you see in front of you here? What is this? Okay, have a look closely, and you'll notice this is food piles, mountains of food just wasted, just to be destroyed, just to go to absolute nothing. Perfectly good quality produce wasted. Okay.
Developed countries are leading the way when it comes to food wastage, according to a UK report. The study claims up to half of all the food produced worldwide isn't eaten for reasons including poor harvesting, transport and storage. Consumer behaviour is particularly to blame in the West, with best before and use by dates confusing customers and leading to up to 50% of what's bought in the supermarket ending up in the bin.
Now here we go. Best before and use by. They are the most confusing things ever. Do you even know the difference between the two? What's the difference between best before and used by? So the answer is as follows, and I won't get confused between two. Hope I've got it right. Best before means the food will taste best if it's eaten before the certain date. Use by means use it by the certain date, or else it might be off. But yet people look at the food, they say, oh, it's past its best before, therefore you can't eat it and chuck it in a bin. When no, you can eat the food after best before. It's only that it doesn't taste as good. Okay, use by means use by that date. And therefore people are chucking stuff away just because it's after the best by. By the way, so with gift we get lots and lots of cereals. We get lots of cereals from Kellogg's. And often when we get cereals from Kellogg's, the date is out of date. So we actually send a message to Kellogg's and ask, is it really out of date? And they say no. Even though it says it's out of date, actually, it's still good to go for quite a considerable time longer. Okay, I can't now take any responsibility for anything which is everyone's going to start eating things now out of date, but you should know that when we get Kellogg's cereals, often they send us a letter, and that letter says actually that it's good to go for another few months. Okay, and therefore there's no need to be able to waste this food. I want to show you this video from a TED Talk. This guy is an expert on food wastage. Phenomenal.
But this is what you can see more or less on every street corner in Britain, in Europe, in North America. It represents a colossal waste of food. But what I discovered whilst I was writing my book was that this very evident abundance of waste was actually the tip of the iceberg. When you start going up the supply chain, you find where the real food waste is happening on a gargantuan scale. Can I have a show of hands? If you have a loaf of sliced bread in your house, who lives in a household where that crust, that slice at the first and last end of each loaf, who lives in a household where it does get eaten? Okay, most people, not everyone, but most people. And this is, I'm glad to say, what I see across the world. And yet, has anyone seen a supermarket or sandwich shop anywhere in the world that serves sandwiches with crusts on it? I certainly haven't. So I kept on thinking, where do those crusts go? This is the answer, unfortunately. 13,000 slices of fresh bread coming out of this one single factory every single day. Day fresh bread. In the same year that I visited this factory, I went to Pakistan, where people in 2008 were going hungry as a result of a squeeze on global food supplies. We contribute to that squeeze by depositing food in bins here in Britain and elsewhere in the world. We take food off the market shelves that hungry people depend on. Go one step up and you get to farmers who throw away sometimes a third or even more of their harvest because of cosmetic standards. This farmer, for example, has invested £16,000 in growing spinach, not one leaf of which he harvested because there was a little bit of grass growing in amongst it. Potatoes that are cosmetically imperfect, all going for pigs. Parsnips that are too small for supermarket specifications. Tomatoes in Tenerife. Oranges in Florida. Bananas in Ecuador, where I visited last year. All being discarded. This is one day's waste from one banana plantation in Ecuador. All being discarded, perfectly edible, because they're the wrong shape or size.
So there is this organisation called Ugly Fruit, and you can actually buy ugly fruit to be able to say. So again, so the way it goes is that shops, you know, what shape is a banana? Like that. But not all bananas are like that. Some bananas are actually straight. Some bananas have different, you know, I don't know, all different designs. But yet, if it's not the exact same bends of how you expect it in a shop, the shops won't sell it. Why? Because it's an ugly fruit. Nobody wants the ugly fruit. The poor little ugly fruit. When it comes to potatoes as well, the potato looks like weird. Nobody wants it. So they just chuck that food. So there was this organisation called the Ugly Fruit, and they've got the Ugly Fruit campaign, and they're asking people to buy ugly fruit, and you can buy ugly fruit as a novelty almost, but when you buy it, it's food which otherwise is just not being sold just because it's ugly, so to speak. We at Gift actually have tried to be in touch with a few. We've not managed so far. If anyone knows of any place where they sell ugly fruit, we're happy to get ugly fruit because we want to be able to feed our families, and we've got over 250 households every single week that we're giving food to. Yep, it's quite a lot. Okay, so there we go. So just to have an appreciation of how much is being wasted, and I want to take this one step further as well, okay? What you see here is Wembley Stadium. Anyone here been to Wembley Stadium? There we go. But just to get an idea of how ginormous Wembley Stadium is, Check it out. Okay. You might want, what am I doing? Why am I showing Wembley Stadium? Okay, so imagine you take all the wasted apples and kugel and chulent, whatever it is, and all the wasted food, okay, and you put the wasted food onto the football pitch, and then you start piling up on the football pitch all the wasted foods and start spreading out, and it fills out the whole pitch. The question is, in the UK alone, okay, in 1 year, how much wasted food do you think there is? Okay, now you have to realize how huge this pitch is, okay? Now I want you to look at the pitch and imagine on the pitch, you know, it just goes higher and higher, filling up the whole pitch. How high up do you reckon it goes? Point on the screen, not that I can see, but point on the screen, and then you're looking at the stands. How high up on the stands do you reckon it goes? Imagine filled to the brim with food, okay? Take a guess. Take a guess. Think how high up it goes, okay? Don't be so extreme. Don't go like over the top, okay? Just think about it logically, okay? How high do you reckon it's going to be? I want you to really think about this. I'm going to give you 20 seconds. 18, 17. Beep! Okay, there you go. Time up. Okay. The answer is, how high does it go? Okay, let's see how close you got to truth. If you were to take the UK's food wastage and fill it up in Wembley Stadium, it would fill, okay, 7.2 million tons of food would fill 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.5 Wembley Stadiums. 5.5 Wembley Stadiums to the top. Yeah, 5.5, and that's every single year in the UK alone of wasted foods. 5.5 Wembley Stadiums. Okay, now that we've got the facts, now we realise how much is wasted. What does a Torah say about this? Does a Torah have any opinion whatsoever about food wastage? And the answer is, it does. Okay, so there is a principle called not wasting. Okay, we're known as Bal Tashchis. Okay, Bal Tashchit. Do not waste. The question is, where do we learn it from? Where does it come from? Think about what you think the Torah source might be for not wasting. And I can tell you now, you ain't going to get it. Oh, really? That's a challenge. Yeah, I don't, unless you know it, okay, you're not going to get it. But have a go. Why not? Prove me wrong. Go on, prove me wrong. All right, here's the source, okay? When you're going to war, what? When you're going to war, okay, and you want to be able to capture the city, so you lay siege around the city, which means you're around the city, okay, all your soldiers are out, not allowing anyone in, not anyone out, okay, you wait outside the city. Now, if you want to be able to lay siege, okay, at one point you're probably going to want to be able to actually cut down the trees and use the trees as a battering ram, okay, hold on to that wooden, that huge trunk and go 1, 2, 3, start bashing down the doors. So you're going to start wanting to cut down trees. However, the rule is you're not allowed to cut down a cherry tree. You're not allowed to cut down a fruit tree. Why? That's called wasting. What? So you cannot cut down a fruit tree. Now, by the way, it does have deeper meanings as well. It means if you have a person inside there who is a tzaddik, who has fruit producing, they are fruit producing, meaning they have mitzvahs, they have good deeds. Also, you can't just say, oh, wipe them all out. You have to look after that person as well. You can't just wipe out all your enemies. Okay, if anyone is good, they have to be able to survive. But on a simple meaning as well, is that you're not, when it comes to a fruit tree, you're not allowed to destroy that fruit tree, and that is called Bal Tashchis. And from there, we learn the laws of do not waste. How far does this go? All right, let's have a look. It goes so incredibly far, that the Gemara says, Gemara Shabbos, okay? Rav Zeidman says that if someone makes a covering on an oil lamp or uncovers a kerosene lamp, then they've done the transgression of do not waste Bal Tashchis. Explain that. All right, I will. Here we go. Is that when it comes to an oil lamp and a kerosene lamp, okay, an oil lamp burns better, okay, when it's uncovered. So if you cover it up, you're wasting the oil. If you cover up, you're wasting that oil. That's considered bal tashchis. You've wasted that little bit of oil. Whoa. Okay, and when it comes to a kerosene lamp works best when it's covered, and if you uncover it, it won't burn as well, and therefore you've wasted that, and that is also called bal tashchis. Now, what we see as well, actually, it goes bigger than that. It's not just when it comes necessarily to food or even oil. It goes like this. The Shulchan Aruch says, if you destroy anything where it's possible to derive some benefit of it for mankind, then that's called wasting. Something which could have had a benefit, it could have helped people, and you just waste it. What are you doing? That's called bal tashchis, wasting. So if you get a guy with a guitar and decides to smash it when you could very much use that guitar, that is called bal tashchis. Okay. What's going on? Why is this? And it goes as follows: that we say is that you don't say that physicality is bad. Okay, Judaism does not say that physical things are bad. It's that we don't say, don't ever eat the ice cream, stay away from the ice cream. We say no, that physicality is good if it's being used as a means for connection. You're using it and imbuing it with spirituality, so to speak. There's something called the tzitzis hakadosha, sparks of holiness, and everything physical. What's this over here? I've got over here. Sensitive cleaner. Okay, some eyeglass cleaner. There we go. There's sparks of holiness in here, which means is if I use this, okay, in order to be able to do a mitzvah, then I'm releasing the sparks of holiness inside it, okay, which means if I'm using this to be able to clean my glasses, no, I don't have glasses, well, I do actually, but I don't really wear them, anyway, but if I was to use this to be able to clean someone's glasses, and now they can actually see people better, and now they can do better, more mitzvahs, and I'm now elevating it, and using this for a mitzvah, okay. If I manage to be able to use something as pen, if I use this pen to be able to write down notes to be able to help people, or to do words of Torah, then I'm elevating it. When it comes to the ice cream, if I'm using the ice cream to be able to elevate it, to be able to use, to connect to Hashem and say, this is delicious. I should read it before. Anyway, Hashem, you created this ice cream. Thank you so much for this ice cream. Then I've elevated and I've used it correctly. But if you're not using it for it, and then you're just chucking it away, then there's no reason why you should be using it. It's only if you take it and imbue it and bring it to a higher purpose. Okay. We also see this concept, okay, in the story of Yaakov. Okay. Now, it says that here's a situation. Yaakov was running away from his brother Esav, and he's running with all his family. And next thing we know, it says, the pasuk says, Yaakov was left alone, and there he had a fight with an angel. He had a man wrestle with an angel, a man, Esav's malach. Why was he left alone? The last thing we know is that actually, he sent gifts to Esav, and then after sending gifts to Esav, he ran away with he davened and he ran away with his family. Why was he left alone? What's going on? So Rashi explains. Rashi says, no, you see, he was running away, and then he said, 1 minute, did you pack the cups? Me? I thought you packed the cups. Did you pack the cups? No, do you mean the cups? We forgot the cups? Oh no, really? We forgot the cups? Oh, I'm going to have to go back. Go back towards Esav, he's dangerous. What do you mean? I have to go back. What about the cups? Now, these cups here, these pucking containers are made out of clay. Now, in those days, they didn't have plastic. Okay, no pollution. Anyway, they didn't have plastic. They had clay. How hard do you think it is to make a clay cup? How hard? Okay, you get the mud. Okay, probably even with that sound effect. Just mush it into a cup. Put it in the sun. There you go. Boom! It's all dry. There's your cup. And with that little cup over there, he doesn't want to waste that little cup. Why? Why? What's the problem? It's just a little cup, for goodness sake. From here we see actually is that it says that tzaddikim love their money more than their bodies. Now, what? I would have thought that if you're tzaddik, if you're righteous, then you wouldn't care about your money. It doesn't say that. It says that actually no. If you're a tzaddik, you do care about your money. What do you mean? It's just money. It's just money. That's not important. Why is it that a tzaddik views their money more important than their body? And this gets quite a deep point. Very deep point, actually. Here we go. If you imagine that this world is a play, okay, or the world is a stage. If the world is a stage, okay, then in the stage you have actors and you have props, okay, which means I am here on God's stage to be able to bring more spirituality, more giving into this world, and I also have my props. Now, the question is this: What do I prefer more? This gets quite deep, quite deep. What do I prefer more, my props or my body? So it goes as follows. I put more effort into my money than I do when it comes to my body. Why? Because this body, everything you see here, came to me for free. Okay, I didn't have to work on this face. I just wake up like this. Okay, I just have this face here. I don't have to work on my body. I just have this body. My hands came to me as a freebie, but my money I put effort into. I put so much effort to be able to get my money. So I see both my body and my money as means to be able to use it, to elevate it for spirituality, to be able to create connections and to be able to give to other people, give towards Hashem, to be able to use for the good. And therefore, everything I see is meant to be used for the good, but my body came free, my money I put effort in, and therefore I love my money even more than my body, not because money is power and money is money, no, but because I realize that money can be used for mitzvahs. The more money, the more mitzvahs. Okay, the more money I have, the more power I have, the more good I can do for other people. And therefore, for me just to waste it, I can't just waste it. I put so much effort into that. I want to be able to use my resources, my stuff, to be able to do good. I can't just waste it. Now, this takes the concept of wasting an entirely different way to where you might otherwise take it, because there's two different ways you might look at not wasting. Number one, you could say the idea of wasting is, you know, we got to save the planet, and if we waste, we're just ruining the planet. And I'm not saying that's not true. I'm not saying it's not true, but there is a deeper message here. The deeper message is who is the person who really cares about not wasting? Yaakov, one of the greatest people ever alive. Yaakov, Ish Emes, the true man. Yaakov cares about it not because of the worried about trashing the planet, but because he says, if I've been given something by Hashem, if I've been given a resource, if I've been given money, if I've been given food, how could I waste it? The reason why I've got it is because I have to use it for the good. Then you take it, you've been given a present to be able to use for good, and just, I'm going to chuck it in the bin? Hello? How could you do such a thing? If you've got it, that means I have a responsibility to be able to use this item for the good. You can't just dump it. So again, the two different ways of looking at it is, one is I'm concerned about trashing the planet, okay, but there's another level which is a deeper level, which is the more you're in touch and realize that every single thing that you have and everything in this world is there for the sake of bringing goodness into this world, bringing Hashem into the world, how could you waste it? How could you waste it? Not because I'm worried that there's not enough in the world or anything, no, but because I have a responsibility. I've been given this money. I'm responsible now to use this money to help people. I have to use this to be able to bring more godliness in the world. What can I do? I can't just chuck it away. If I got food, I can't chuck it away. If I got if I got any resources, I can't just chuck it away. Okay. Every single thing in this world has a purpose. And Rabbi Yehuda said in the name of Rav, of all that Hashem created in this world, he didn't create a single thing without purpose, which means every single item that you own, this shirt over here, this, my trousers, my pen, okay, my strepsils, okay, this ruler, this tissue, okay, everything on this desk, okay, this calculator, every single thing. What an old calculator. Sheesh, this is old school. Okay. Excuse me. Every single thing that you own, if you have it, it means you can think about how can you use it for the good. Nothing's just wasted. And I found this beautiful clip, video clip from Chabad. It's really cute here. Okay, so I'm thirsty. I go to the water cooler. What do I do? Put out a plastic cup. Okay. Okay. Shak on here, bit of a finish with the cup. What do I do with it? Chuck it. Hey, I want another drink. What I'm going to do? Oh, go and get another cup. Fill it up. Take a drink and chuck it. Oh, I want another one. Take a drink. Get another cup. Take a drink and then chuck it. This Yaakov would never do that. Yaakov would never do that. Again, not because you're trashing the planet, which is true, and you've got to be careful about that. We mustn't trash the planet. We've got to treat it with respect. But because he says, if I've got this plastic cup, that means there's netzisis HaKadusha. There is sparks of holiness inside this cup. I can use this cup to be able to help someone. How? Don't know. Be imaginative. Think about that. But I could use this to do so much greatness, and I'm just chucking it? What? That's how we're meant to view this world. Every single thing in this world. I am responsible for all the things that I've got, that I got to use it for the best. I got to use it to be able to give, to help. Okay, I want to show you I have to show you another video clip. Okay, just saying about how much is wasted. We're talking about plastic cups. Okay, oh, I ruined it, haven't I? But anyway, look at this picture. Not connected with plastic cups. Look at this picture over here. What do you see? What do you reckon you see? Okay, take a look.
This is an image I just recently completed that is, when you stand back at a distance, it looks like some kind of neo-Gothic cartoon image of a factory spewing out pollution. And as you get a little bit closer, it starts looking like lots of pipes, like maybe a chemical plant or a refinery or maybe a hellish freeway interchange. And as you get all the way up close, you realize that it's actually made of lots and lots of plastic cups. And in fact, this is 1 million plastic cups, which is the number of plastic cups that are used on airline flights in the United States every 6 hours. We use 4 million cups a day on airline flights, and virtually none of them are reused or recycled. They just don't do that in that industry. Now that number is dwarfed by the number of paper cups we use every day. And that is 40 million cups a day for hot beverages, most of which is coffee. I couldn't fit 40 million cups on a canvas, but I was able to put 410,000. That's what 410,000 cups looks like. That's 15 minutes of our cup consumption. And if you could actually stack up that many cups in real life, that's the size it would be. And there's an hour's worth of our cups, and there's a day's worth of our cups. You can still see the little people way down there. That's as high as a 42-story building. And I put the Statue of Liberty in there as a scale reference.
That is not normal. That is not normal. From there, you do actually start thinking about trashing the planet, and wow, like, what on earth are we doing with this planet that Hashem gave us? Like, what on earth are we doing with it? But what's the solution? Hey, what are we going to do? So you should know that years ago, gifts been going out for, I think, 15 years, something like 15 years. So we came up with this initiative called the Gift Box. Well, I wasn't there at Gift at the time, but we have this thing, the Gift Box initiative, okay, where we ask people, please do not chuck away your food. If you have food that you don't want, put it in the gift box. Okay, pasta, whether it's talking about, well, everybody wants pasta at the moment, okay, but tomato sauce, okay, baked beans, we take the stuff, okay. What's really interesting actually is that some people, that when it comes to Pesach, they don't want to have chametz gamor, they don't want to have complete chametz. Now again, the law is that on Pesach you're not allowed to eat any chametz, you're not allowed to own any chametz. But what you can do actually is you put it all into one cupboard, you lock off, the cupboard, put a sticker on it and saying sold, and then with the rabbi, super simple, you just basically fill in a form which says I'm selling all the stuff to a non-Jew, give it to the rabbi, and he will sell it to the caretaker usually, and then straight after Pesach you have the stuff back. But some people don't want to, and some people just chuck this food away. Don't chuck it, give it a gift. We are such a religious organization. We have more chametz than anybody in the entire UK. Our whole warehouse is filled to the brim with chametz. So what we do is we just sell the whole warehouse filled with chametz, okay, to a non-Jew, and then straight after Pesach we buy it back, and then we give it out. So don't ever waste food. Don't waste those packets of food. We will take that and we will find families who need that stuff. It just seems like, you could just chuck a packet of flour away, whereas no, I could give it to someone, and that bag of flour can do so much. This is loaf of bread, more than loaf of bread, quite a few loaves of bread over here, and don't waste it when you could. If you've got it, if you've been in charge of it, then there's something you're meant to do with this, okay. And therefore, in conclusion, when it comes to food, okay, now it happens to be in the gift box. No, we do not want your leftover foods like that. Please do not put that in the gift box. There's one person actually outside Be Kosher, there used to be, who would not kindly donate a cup of coffee. They would take a cup of coffee, empty out the cup of coffee over all the food contents, and then drop the cup in as well. And we got amazing volunteers, and thankfully we actually had one volunteer, I don't know his name, I don't know if he's watching, but he literally, once I came to the warehouse, like, what are you doing? I'm washing the food. What do you mean washing the food? It's every time I get the food, somebody pours coffee all over it, so I wash every single item. The guys are tzaddik, absolute tzaddik, and all those who volunteer, pure tzaddikim. Thank you so much for all those who are volunteering. So when it comes to food, no, we do not want your leftovers. We do not want your leftovers. And no, we're not going to be able to, package it to go to Africa or something. And again, and if you're full up, interesting, whenever I'm full and I feel like, oh, I can't waste the food, so I start eating it. My wife told me, beautiful anecdote. She said, you know what, the food's going in the bin. Either way, if you don't want the food, the food's going in the bin. The only question is whether the bin's going to be the bin or your stomach's going to be the bin. Okay, so maybe I won't finish off that plate if I'm actually full. So again, we're not saying that if you're full, you should just, eat up. No, not do that, obviously. But the point is that when it comes to food, which has good use to it, really can, it can be used, use it to be able to give, use it to be able to share. If you have physical items, there's a reason why Hashem's given it to you. He's given it to you because you are the custodian, you are the guardian, there to look after it, and you're meant to use it properly to be able to bring it to spirituality. So don't just waste the food, but rather realize that if you have something, you can use it to be able to bring out greatness, goodness, and kindness. Okay. So again, don't put even though with the image there, don't put your leftover food inside the gift box. But if you have any food that you don't want, put it inside there. And you should know there's so many with all these WhatsApps, by the way. If you ever have stuff that you want to get rid of as well, okay, there's so many WhatsApps. You can ask the WhatsApp, anyone want this, anyone want that? I know with us as well, if you have anything, if you have any items that you want to get rid of, send us a picture with a WhatsApp, and we'll see if there's any family that wants it. Otherwise, give it to a charity shop, but don't just waste it. Don't just waste it. Okay? Awesome. Until next time, be well, and remember to continue giving. All the best.